wanna wanna do. I think you know in the 10-minute crying thing and the bassinet is probably what put him passed out. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course. That is going to exhaust
Yeah.
him. And
So
there's nothing wrong with his punk butt.
I know.
So he's fine. That's the way I
Mhm.
see it.
Mhm. It's just got to be a little bit of tough love. He's got to know that I'm
Yeah.
in business. You know.
He'll get over it. That's
I
the
know.
best thing to remember is he will get over it.
Mhm. But I'm very pleased. I didn't leave him. I wanted him to have that comfort level, and I did get up a couple times to get a drink or come back, and then I made soup, and
Yeah.
so we'll see how good he is.
The age when he starts rolling around is when
Uh,
it's not okay to leave for very long.
mhm.
Like secure the child
Yeah,
thoroughly before walking away.
yeah.
Chains on the
Put him in the crib.
wooden
Put him in the
board.
bassinet. Do not leave
Yep.
him alone in the
Well, that's
house.
why I'd said, about putting one pack and play attached to the top of the other,
Hmm.
hinge that child
Yeah,
into a cage, and
zip
he'll be
tie.
just fine.
He probably would have slept longer, but dumbass me. I have a metal cup filled with water, and I banged into the metal chairs and kind of woke him up. So that's my fault. Yep.
Sounds about right.
But I think probably I didn't want him also to be up all night for them either.
I would have, like, haha, serves you right. Yes, I am that
Yeah.
mean. My
Who
bad.
that I can be that mean too. Who cares? 3 or 4 hours sleep here. Hell.
Hey, you get the rest, they get
Uh
to be the
huh.
parent.
Yep. That's why I said, I'm not getting the rest I'm supposed to, and it's taken somewhat of a toll. So if that thing would work on the bed, not
It
that I,
would be nice.
yeah, I don't sleep, I rest. So, and you can't roll over it or off the bed in it. So this one, I'll have to send it to you. This one in particular is like, uh, what does it remind me of? Like it got some depth to it, and then the sides come up, kind of like you put the bassinet on the bed, kind of thing almost, but it's shorter than that. I don't know. We'll play around with stuff. That's all I could do is try,
Uh-huh.
but we'll see. So, what have our numbers been looking like? Hey, Art, how you doing?
Uh,
Hey, Blue, how you doing?
I have not gotten to looking at the numbers. I did see one that it looked like last night it was like 800, not last night, but yesterday's was like 800 something
Oh,
views.
well, that's good. At least we're picking back up. Um, Blue, I don't know if you heard, but my man slept over 3 hours, so I'm happy. I ultimately laid him on the couch beside me, but he still slept. So I expect the next 2 hours to be filled with screaming and hollering and mm-hmm. Here, here. Keep it in your mouth. What do you want? Hmm? You want up? Oh my god, this freaking startle reflex is crazy. Do you want up? Okay. Well, what do you got up first, Crazy Bee? Anything else going?
First
Oh, wait,
time
wait, wait. Whoa,
fixing
whoa, whoa. Hold up, hold
links.
up, hold up before you go anywhere. How did your daughter do? Or is she still interviewing? Or is she in the
She
cafeteria?
is
Or is she
done.
in the
They will
car?
let her know. They will let her know in an email.
Okay. How did
So
she think it went?
so far pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Where is she now?
So
In the car or the cafeteria?
she's still in the car. He should be out of work soon. So she just taking it easy, and she found a phone charger in the back of the car.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good. Yeah, that would have been a little bit of an issue, but everybody say a little prayer that Crazy Bee's daughter gets this job.
Oh yeah,
This
fingers
would be
crossed.
fingers crossed and say a prayer. This would be phenomenal.
It would be a great job. She,
Hmm.
oh boy, did she freak out last night when I said about going up and just sitting with in the car all day waiting for her dad, and
Yeah.
that she'd have to go by herself. She totally flipped out when she found out I couldn't go in with her.
Uh,
But then she got
You
over
didn't have to
it.
go in with me.
I know, but your sister is slightly different than you.
Well, yeah, she's a woman.
Oh my god.
mm-mm. No, he didn't. I almost spit out my soup I'm eating. No, he didn't.
Well,
Not,
yeah, he did because she is a female and he is male, so there is a difference.
well, I know that, but
I'm
I
like,
know he didn't mean it in that connotation. You better slap him for me.
Eh, he's only talking about his sister.
Oh,
oh, I
okay.
know, I was talking about Dad.
Oh, you were talking about your dad?
Yeah, he's a woman.
Dad's a woman.
There's a cat by the back. Oh, look at it, adorable little thing.
Oh, lordy.
Adorable. It's cleaning itself.
I love my kids. They are
Uh,
absolutely insane.
So
Here,
adorable.
open. There we go.
It does not seem to care that I'm knocking on the window.
No, it does not care. And for good reason.
Why?
It's
The
a
baby
cat.
baby JJ just had a
It's
little
adorable,
sample of
though.
tomato
Tiny
soup.
little fellow.
Don't tell
Oh,
anybody.
shit. I'm trying to stay awake today. It ain't going well.
Did you take your nap like I told you to?
Yes, I went into a very deep sleep for an hour, woke up completely disoriented,
Oh,
and
see,
my
that
leg
means
was numb.
yeah, that means you're
Oh no, you
that
see, I
wasn't a nap.
surgically removed and reattached your leg.
You surgically removed and then reattached my leg while I was asleep.
Yep, and then I cleaned up all the blood.
And where are the sutures?
Huh? Oh, I
This.
used toilet paper. I made strings of toilet paper.
Okay.
My man,
Um,
my man needs to get a job there where hopefully your daughter will be. Bless you.
if I could get all three of them out for
Uh huh.
10 to 12 hours a day,
Yeah, wouldn't
holy
that be
shit.
awesome?
It's
That
so
would be
adorable, the
freaking
little black
awesome.
cat.
I know. That's my goal. All three of them, 10
Hmm.
hours.
But
Talking
if you
5
hold
So,
a.m.
on
to
to your
4
thoughts,
p.m.
that's scary
yep,
because
you'd be
you
set,
know
man,
we
for
don't want
life.
you doing a wrong thing, Mother.
I'm sorry, 11 hours.
11
5
hours.
a.m. to 4 p.m. is 11 hours.
Come here. Up. You want up? Or you want your. Here. What do you want? You like Elmo mode. Here. So I found the other. You were correct. There was a second microphone.
Uh
So
huh.
I charged it and I turned it on here, and I'm like, why isn't it working? And I'm like, duh, because the
The
laptop and that hasn't been charged, and none of that is.
Actually, it doesn't even matter so much about the laptop. All you got to do is
But
pull the dongle out and connect it to the computer, to the
but
tablet or whatever.
oh shit, I didn't think about that. Oh fudge,
Yours came with the C style and the
I
USB
know.
style.
I didn't think about that damn dongle. Dingle dongle dangle. Come on. Get up here, Dingle. Oh shit. You got tomato soup on your shirt. How did you do that, huh? Oh. Oh, what? Say hi, everybody.
Uh,
Say hey,
yes,
Nan.
that's exactly what it is. They
Say
do
Nan. Hey,
Tuesday through
Aunt Liz.
Friday. and then have Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off. Yes,
Say that
that
again.
is the rotation. And if I can get the kids working there, they'll be starting at like almost 18 an hour, and
Wow.
their dad's making 22, 23 an hour.
Yeah.
So, it would be good money coming in. After 4 years, they'd be making about 48K each, with the exception of their dad. I think he'll be closer to 50 by the time his
Right.
raises come
Wait,
in.
so 50K a year?
By
Stop.
the time you max out and pay.
Okay, that's 52 weeks.
Yeah.
And welcome
So
to
you,
the Rex Sister
yes.
Show, where we
$1,000 a
have
week?
screaming children who cry
Yes.
dance.
Cool.
That is the goal.
And welcome to Rex
Uh,
Sisters, where baby JJ has just woken up as the third co-host to be part of the 2-hour program. And what does he do right out of the gate? He pooped it in his pants. What did you do in here? What is in here? Didn't I just change it?
well, at least it was little JJ who pooped his pants and not you or me.
Or dad. Oh, no, it's
Just going to point that out.
This
I am
is
so
true.
glad it was the baby who did
Yes,
this and not one of us adults.
yes, this is true. Very true. What is in here? Say hi. Don't cry. What happened to your bubba? Huh? Oh, I can't wait till you can hold the damn thing yourself.
It will be nice. You can just hand it to him and he can chug the bottle while you change a
Uh-huh.
diaper.
Yep, filled with vodka. What the hell is going on around this? Oh, there it is, behind my damn car.
Art says that's before taxes. After taxes, you're left with about $2 an hour. Yep.
Ain't that the
That's
truth?
bogus.
Did
Why say you make $1,000 an hour if
Rita
you're making $2?
got it?
It's just he's exaggerating. You know how much your dad brings back. So
Yeah, $5.
go do something
I
productive.
did do something productive.
What was?
Oh lordy. No, and what's nice is this job, after 30 days, I believe it is, or no,
Yeah.
60. 60 is where they set up for the 401k and all that.
Oh, that'd be
So
all.
I will be making sure they are set with a 401k from a very young age and
Definitely.
not repeating the mistakes of me and their dad. Well, their dad, I never held a job that offered 401k. So I just kind of like, yeah, all right, bye.
Oh, this is disgusting. Absolutely yucky, disgusting. And I am going to comment about the balls. Why are they so damn big and the poop got to go right up underneath them? Huh?
Oh,
Huh? What is in here? You think that's. Oh, you think that's funny? Is that funny? Huh? Say hello, everybody.
Well, the
Yeah.
daughter and the dad are back,
pop, pop.
Who are they? Okay. How'd
And
that all
style.
go?
and I have a feeling she just went straight to her room. Go double
Uh-oh.
So
check.
she lost.
Is
No,
that good or bad?
she's probably exhausted.
Yeah.
She was up all night. She only got about an hour of sleep, and then had to go sit in a car all day.
Right. Wonder if she slept
Oh,
in
no,
the
she's right
car at
there.
all.
I hope she got a nap in.
Yeah.
Yes.
What the heck
She
is
did
in
good.
your pants?
Okay.
Oh,
What?
Stop.
It's funny? You think it's funny?
well, why would you step on it? Because you like stepping on my blanket.
Can y'all take your argument out there so it's not picked up by the microphone?
No, no, see, it's
We're
funnier that way.
arguing?
Yeah.
Who's arguing?
Dingbat and Dingbat Jr.
I'm not a junior, I'm a senior.
What are you doing?
I'll be a junior.
You are a junior.
I am my own father.
Someone want to help me with this nonsense?
I don't know. Right now, I might switch you for a poopy butt. Say we go poopy butt.
Plant. I was
Huh?
watching.
Okay.
Say we go poopy butts. Hi.
There's got to be something to snack on because he refuses to get up and get anything.
My nuts.
That is so not appropriate.
It took you taught him that.
I did not. bullshit.
Bullshit.
He's been around your brother.
It
You
took
see.
me 2 seconds to figure that one out.
Potter, 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 potter.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Potter.
we're waiting for Dee to get done with the diaper change.
Yeah, we're powdering the butt.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Cringe.
So we got to powder the bum.
Like that's the future
Get out the which device? The stun gun, the cast iron pan, the broomstick.
That is so cringe. That kid is
All
going
of the
to
above.
execute millions in
Say all of
Guatemala,
the above.
and you're just like changing his diaper.
You're lucky you're so
Rude.
damn cute.
He's changed your diaper, boy. Yeah, but I'm not the dictator of Guatemala.
Yeah, or I just saw your comment about the 401ks. Yeah, back then it was not what it is today.
Oh no.
And
For better or for worse.
it's better now. You used to have to get your
I'll
own
argue that. Back
brokerage
in the
firm
day was
to
better.
handle your trades and stuff.
Ah.
Now it's automatic.
Yeah, I'll argue that point. Back in the day was better. They gave you way more money. Companies used to match dollar for dollar up to a certain dollar amount. Now you just
Yep.
see percentages up to a certain dollar amount, all in an effort to save money. These mother effing snaps.
Or the ball thingy, didn't you get it in the mail?
No, I didn't.
Neither did
It
I.
came, it came
I
with
got
it. It came with
Yeah,
it.
I wasn't truly expecting everyone to be home so early today. I honestly was kind of hoping we had till 4 o'clock, but
Yay!
I'm not too upset.
All right, all done. Say poopy butt is all done.
Now there's no excuse that they can't get out there, finish cutting the grass, finish spraying the yard, and then the driveway, and then do the damn dishes.
How are you? Are you a happy baby now?
I can't
Are you a
do
happy
anything.
baby? We say we need 3-hour naps. We need to poop. What else do we need to do? Eat. Have some tomato soup. Now what you looking
Wear the tomato soup, not have it. Wear it.
No, he had a little taste of it on
Someone
my
seems to
finger.
think nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Nicotine is an addictive chemical. It's a stimulant.
You see the butterflies.
It is?
You see crazy bees butterflies. Huh?
Oh, I bet he likes that.
Yes, he does. He's really looking at it. What she got there, huh? What? Okay. All right, you got kisses too. Do we need more? Yes. Uh-oh, there's El Momo. You think you could sit down for a little bit and watch El Momo? Say hell no.
Probably not.
Nope, say I'm going to start screaming.
Wouldn't it be funny if we got a copyright strike because of an Elmo in the background?
Yeah, we need to make a comment ahead of time. We are not in any way endorsing Elmo. This is all in an effort to secure our podcast. The third co host is the recipient of the Elmo Mo and Cookie Monster videos. Nobody else in the chat is, unless they start singing or dancing, then we got to worry.
Well, then I think they'll just be enjoying memories from youth or from the youth of their children.
All right, he's sitting in bouncy. Let's go. We got probably 5 minutes before he starts screaming.
All right.
What do we got up first?
The last of that one video we started the last time we covered the Donald Trump thingy.
Oh, okay.
We got to get through this, and then we have one other video, and then it's kind of whatever the hell we want.
I thought we had a lot to finish from yesterday.
Yeah, the one video, we've got like 10 minutes left in this video, and the other video is like 20 some minutes long, and we're going to be pausing it and talking.
Okay, and then okay.
I think we've got plenty because we have to stop it every 5 minutes or so.
Right,
just
so we don't get in trouble, right?
Get in trouble. So, and talk for a while, and we usually run our mouths for a good 5 minutes for the 5 minutes we've watched.
Oh, I only run mine for 3. You take up at least 17.
Oh, of the whole day.
No, you don't.
You're all right. Let's get through the last of this because we know I'm going to be pausing and bitching.
Go ahead.
Decision. You know what? too big. We can't deal with this. But lots of other people, 1,000 people who took part in the January 6th crime were prosecuted and were sentenced. The others are also in danger. So they become like co-authors of the need to break institutions with the president, who may in the end get away with it because the American system can't do that to its own president.
That's interesting. I mean, I hadn't thought of that psychological insight, namely that when they talk all the time about being prosecuted and being victims and so on. And maybe it's because they, of course, they know they're guilty. They know they broke the law. They know what happened on January the 6th. They know how much money they're stealing. So you're right. Maybe they do feel.
But they
maybe
never say this about
kind
the
of authentic
BLM
reflection of how afraid they
riots.
feel.
Right.
They are all people who are engaged in breaking the law and in destroying and undermining the Constitution. And they're perhaps at some level, consciously or unconsciously, afraid eventually they might pay a price for it. I mean, this, of course, we see this also in other countries. I mean, why is
the Saturdays?
Why is Netanyahu, for example, so keen to break the Israeli judicial system? It's partly because he too is worried about being held to account. Why is Viktor Orban so determined to stay in office, despite the fact that this is the prime minister of Hungary? That his numbers are falling. He has a real
What's this
opponent.
goofball's name again?
What might persuade him to try and block?
It just said W. Burr.
Okay.
It's not Bill Burr. No, it's just W. Burr. I don't know who he is, and I can't remember who the hell she is.
Okay.
But they're evidently held in high regard in the leftist BS. So,
okay.
I'm not. I know we're trying to be balanced, and again, I'm not discounting what they say. All I'm pointing out is they didn't complain when it was the idiots over there doing it. They're only complaining about the idiots over here doing it.
Well, that was because that was peaceful protesting on the left. I mean, come on now. You saw it with your own eyes. It was extremely
burning buildings,
peaceful.
Torched cars, people beaten down.
I don't know what you're talking about. It was very peaceful. You saw the CNN reporter. He reported on it. He said it was peaceful. What the heck are you
talking
about?
The town behind him was in flames.
Well, that's beside the point. It was still peaceful.
Over to a burning car.
Mostly peaceful pans over to a burning car. My son is very familiar with what we're talking about. And it's, again, if you're going to call out one side, call out the other.
The other. Yeah, that's
you don't hear me defending the right. You're like, but you hear me saying, but where are you calling out the other side? Both sides have situational ethics and morals, unfortunately. Yes. And this is why I call this shit out. Call out both sides as wrong or shut the hell up and go home.
Exactly.
It's really not hard. Oh, Vanilla Ice says that part was global warming.
Hey, Vanilla, how you doing?
Oh, God, that was global warming. Okay, got it. So, yeah.
It happened to, incinerate right behind the reporter. I mean, come on, Crazy Bee, get with it.
Oh, no, it was one of those, you don't know it's an EV vehicle, and it has a lithium fire.
Correct.
There was too much water on the battery.
Probably something like that, I mean, you're being over dramatic. It was so peaceful. I mean, do you recall, was that a town or a couple city blocks taken over up in Seattle?
No, a good chunk of Seattle and Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That was
became
just for a couple weeks.
No police zones. Yeah. And now there's like a murder every couple days.
Yeah, it was just a little something. That's all.
Almost as if that's why the police exist.
Look, they're entitled to have a campfire here and there.
That's right.
But it just gets on my nerves that they only call out one side.
Right.
I'm not even refuting them. I'm not going to argue them. I'm going to say, be balanced, be fair. If you're going to do this, criticize your preferences, because if you won't criticize both, it just becomes a bias.
Yes, it is.
It doesn't become a fact, it becomes a bias. Like that idiot who was protesting for no kings, and the only reasons he was protesting is because he didn't like Trump's personality. Trump's an asshole. Yes, and lots of people are assholes. I can be an asshole. Doesn't mean I want to be king. Dumbass.
Right, and whether you think Trump's an asshole or not, that's opinion again. We want to look at policy.
Tell me about his policy that
Right.
is so wrong.
Well,
Oh,
if Trump really wanted to be king, all he had to do was revoke the Constitution.
he can't do that.
Exactly, so he can't be king.
We know this. People are idiots, though. So just chill out, bub. But no, it's like, again, I just, if you have a legitimate gripe about Trump's policy, fine. Let's talk about it. I might actually agree with you. But be fair and point out that Biden wasn't perfect either in all of his bad policies.
Hey, he let the immigrants in.
Well, he wasn't the only one, but we're going to leave it alone.
Oh.
So it's just never been that bad before. Biden did it the worst.
Right. But
So, yeah.
oh my God, you weigh a ton. Oh, stop.
I've just had it with the biases.
All right. Oh, stop. We just got to get the pig out of there. Come on. Let's hear it. Come on.
Well,
Ah,
let me hit play
go ahead.
for a little bit, and hopefully Stinky will calm down listening to these terrible
Oh,
political
there it
tapes.
is. There it was.
Block that political opponent, maybe even through extra-legal means. But it's also, again, the fear that the very real crimes he's carried out, the money that he's stolen, the money that his family have benefited from, taking from the Hungarian state, maybe that's going to be investigated. So their anxiety about and paranoia has a real basis. You're right.
Yeah, and if there are free and fair midterm elections, given the very bad economic news that seems to be arriving day by day, Congress can be an investigative body, even if you can shut down the Department of Justice. So you have to worry. You just have all these points of danger, and you have to shut them down one by one. The free press being one of the most important. Now, historically, Americans have seldom cared all that much about corruption in government, and people always cite Watergate. But
Wait
I think one of the things I think we've all learned from
on.
the Trump years is
Hold up. Historically, Americans have not cared about corruption in government.
Since
Really?
the fuck when?
Yeah, really? I mean, come on. That's funny.
I mean, we've cared. We've just never done jack shit about it.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Wow,
Again, this is where I point out JJ's commentary is very appropriate here.
Thanks.
But this is again where I point out the biases. They are
Right.
biased, just like the right wings are biased, the left wings are biased. They're all biased.
Yes, ma'am.
I think that's what mostly just irritates me enough is is that they can't even admit they're being biased.
Right.
I can acknowledge mine. I'm being biased here on this, that, or the other. No, this is a circumstance where like y'all are actually right, but call out both sides and it would be so much better.
Uh-huh.
So, okay, yeah. And by the way, people have generally cared about corruption. Just we don't know what the fuck to do to get rid of it because it
Exactly.
hasn't been
It's way
taught in
right.
decades in our schools.
Correct. It's
Actually, probably the better part of a century.
yeah, I agree.
So, yep.
is if 1974, if instead of being the worst economic year since the Great Depression, the year of Watergate, if it had been a great economic year, I am no longer very confident that Richard Nixon would have been in much trouble, and that people were ready to hear bad news about Watergate because it was a terrible year economically, inflation and unemployment and oil shortages and gas lines. But 2017, 2018, 2019 were pretty prosperous years. And although the offenses that were happening over those years, not as big as now, but bigger than anything ever seen before,
Yeah.
Americans tended to shrug. As by the way, they mostly shrugged through Teapot Dome.
I wonder if it's that or whether it's the extreme, the partisanship that we now live in that makes people literally unable to see Trump's corruption. This is a theme I know you may also be interested to discuss. I have one or two friends who during the Biden years became very angry by what they perceived to be as Biden's corruption. Nothing that was ever proven, nothing was ever shown. There was a lot of rumors about what Hunter Biden had done or not done.
Oh, it was proven. It was shown. It was swept under the rug. He's an old man with memory problems, but not bad enough that he can't be president.
Correct.
But hey, that auto pen is sitting right there for anyone to use.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Seriously, it was proven. And then it was disregarded.
That's
which is
correct.
exactly what the right has always done about Trump's. Like, am I like... It just frustrates me. I know we know it. But, like, Biden's It was very much proven multiple times over. Hell, he rats himself out in his congressional speeches.
Well, and I think that Trump probably was in so many ways, from the impeachments to the lawsuits and all of that, and yet
And
not.
again, a lot of these lawsuits that he had faced, even before he became president,
That's correct.
he
There were,
just he settled out of court on many of those.
yes, and there
So there
were,
was no actual charges.
correct. And with some of the reason, and it's possible that he was guilty for it, but
Yes.
it's also possible that it was settled so that there would not be a trial. We would not be going to,
Bingo. Bingo.
over what the issue was. But the bottom line is, it was still settled, and whatever you believe or not about it, it's done and over with. You know what
Well,
I mean?
because it was settled out of court
Uh-huh.
for whatever reason,
Yep.
that means as of, the court's opinion, it's not guilty
That's correct.
because it was
Yep.
settled out of court.
Correct.
Now, doesn't mean he's a good person, doesn't mean he doesn't care about his family and those around him, just means he has enough money to shut people up.
Right? Oh, here, let's shut
So,
you up. Not you, crazy bee, the
let me
baby.
hit play
Here.
and we will move on to the next few seconds before we have to pause it again.
As far as I can see, Biden was guilty of taking advantage of his father's name, and he got himself appointed to a couple of boards. But there's no, we're not even living in the same world. We're not even, the world in which it's very bad that Hunter Biden was on a board of a Ukrainian or any other company because of who his surname was, and the world in which the president himself is openly taking hundreds of millions of dollars in de facto bribes from all over the world. These aren't really the same planet, and yet you can find people who will say, what about Hunter Biden? Or Joe Biden was very corrupt too. And that's a fallback position that people continue to find very useful. And if you live in the media bubble where you watch Fox News and your information comes from the right, then you probably haven't heard very much about the scale of corruption in the Trump administration, and you've probably heard endlessly about Hunter Biden. And so that's the other piece of the story that's, I think, might be even different from the 1970s. I don't think we were that divided.
I want to point out, I heard more about Trump than I ever did Biden.
Wait. Hunter Biden and the prostitutes. I don't know why that came to mind.
Hunter Biden smoking Parmesan cheese, thinking it was crack.
Uh-huh. And all of the crack cocaine and, everything that was on video and stuff. That was pretty, but that's okay. I don't recall any of Trump kids doing that, or Trump himself, so.
Mm-hmm.
And they never did find out whose cocaine that was in the White House either.
Yep.
The way.
There's always that. Yeah, people forget about that. Hunter Biden's at the White House, and, well, shortly later, there's a whole bag of crack found.
Sesame Street. How to get to Sesame. Oh, I can't sing.
I don't think we were that person. Of course, in the 1970s, the other thing that happened was that we had, it was the Republicans ultimately who held Nixon to account, and the Republican Senate and the Republican Congress who put pressure on him to resign. And we don't have that anymore either. We're missing this really vital piece of the U.S. Constitution. We're missing, as you said a minute ago, we're missing Congress. And if there are no leaders on the right, if there are no Republican leaders who are willing to stand up to this, then maybe it's not surprising that ordinary Americans who take their steer from their political leaders don't see it either. And they're not hearing anyone talk about it. They're not hearing anyone investigate it or say anything about it at all.
Okay.
Well, Hunter Biden stands in a long and rather dismal American tradition of the bad relative of the serving president. And there is almost always one of these. Jimmy Carter's brother, Billy. You go through the list. George H.W. Bush had a son who traded on the family name. There's almost always a relative. I think Eisenhower is the only one where all the brothers were as exceptional as Eisenhower.
And, I'm not saying that because one side does it, it's okay for the other side to do it. I'm saying it's wrong across the board, and that these asswipes are the ones who are making it sound like, well, because they do it, it's okay for them to do it, and nobody's family is perfect. It doesn't matter. Stop being corrupt, motherfuckers. That's my only opinion on it. There are no leaders on any side today. That is an understatement. Absolute understatement. Where's button? But yeah, I've absolutely had it with the other side does no, call out both sides, make it clear it's wrong equally, and get some fresh people in.
Eisenhower himself, each in his own way. Usually there's a disgraceful relative out there. Franklin Delano Roosevelt's children, my God, they were the Hunter Bidens of their day, and they did all kinds of shady business deals. But this maybe does create some shadow of permission for those who want to believe in Trump, because you can, if you are minded to ignore what's going on, you can say, well, every president has a son or brother, a nephew, who is making a dishonest living of hundreds of thousands.
Let me pause it. What was that?
I said, we're back. I'm going to be owing Eric Sr. a lot, man. He let him come home again today.
Maybe they finally listened.
Maybe. No reason why they can't start work at 7. Anyway, so
Yep.
let me get rid of Sesame Street. And again, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. Oh, he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
I love him, but man, it's a long day.
That it is. And you just got him changed and fed and behaving.
Yeah, right. Yep. Hopefully he'll be up for them all night, right? Screaming.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what happens. Whew. But that tough love shit, man, that's rough. Anyway. All right. He's getting heavy.
Yeah. Pretty soon he won't want to be held. And then you'll be like, dang it, it was so much easier.
Well, just remember what we said. We were going to get that spongy cord leash, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were going to attach it to him.
Tie him up.
Yeah, I'm actually going to move him to the old living
As long as you don't use a choke chain, anything is good. Sorry. I said that out loud, didn't I?
Did you say that out loud? Oh, gosh.
I most certainly did.
So I'm not allowed to use one of those pretty collars that they have? You know, like a gold one or one with his name engraved
No, I think they prefer harnesses over collars.
Yeah.
Collars are a choice when you become an adult. But they didn't mind women wearing chokers through how many decades?
Yep. I still have
Just going to point that out.
I know. I still have mine there. I have all that costume jewelry. You know that? Back in the day, you wore... sorry, guys, but we're going off topic again. You remember that you wore the colored earrings with the colored necklace, and the bracelet, and all of... I have all of that still. Wow. I wonder if it's worth anything.
It's hard to say.
It might be, maybe. It's quite old.
That means I'm quite old.
It's older than you, dear. So that says something. All right. I'm doing stupid shit. I got to stand up first before I take my stuff. Okay. What are you eating? Crazy.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Kellogg's. The Kellogg's red berry cereal.
Oh, I thought it was an apple.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Nope.
All
cereal.
Right. I'm leaving
Let me
this
hit play.
Yep, go ahead. I'm taking this other crap. Oops, wait, I need my phone too. Go ahead, hit play.
Thousands of dollars by trading on the president's name and selling paintings to people who obviously are not interested in the quality of the art in the painting. And therefore that practice inures you or predisposes you, as you said, if you're partisan, to say, and therefore there's no difference between the president himself taking hundreds of millions of dollars, not hundreds of thousands, and using it in a way that directly influences American politics in ways we can see. The crypto industry is going to go unregulated, in part because the crypto industry has directed so much money to Donald Trump. Or the direct benefit, apparently, as best we can tell,
again,
Elon
they
Musk's
failed to
companies
mention
and
George
interests, both of his
Soros and Bill Gates doing this shit.
These are different kinds of things. But if you want to give yourself permission to cite Franklin Roosevelt's children or Joe Biden's, you can do that. But you're not telling yourself the truth. You're just...
Or as in 20 years later, JJ's into whips and chains. Nobody can really understand why.
You're saying, here are two things, and we can apply words to these two quite different things and use words to make them seem similar, even though they're not.
Yeah, no, but it's effective. I mean, I've heard people use this logic and make these arguments, and it seems to be useful in convincing people who might otherwise have some doubts about Trump and the Trump administration, who might otherwise feel a little uncomfortable about supporting something that's this obviously corrupt. I mean, there's another mechanism that I'm also worried about, and this is something you get in authoritarian regimes, which is when you have a political leader who so constantly and repeatedly lies himself. I mean, Trump was lying just the other day about gas prices, for example, which he says they're lower than they are. He will lie about the effect of tariffs as they come in. He lies about things that people can see and feel. I mean, Americans who buy gas know what the price of gas is. So Trump saying it's something else doesn't change that. But when the
Biden was the sharpest and most alert for the last 4 years. That wasn't a lie to us. They want to sit there and talk about Trump lying about what's in front of us. How about what the entire nation did with Biden for 4 years?
Uh-huh.
I'm just going to point this out.
Absolutely.
It's not the first time our government has blatantly lied to us about what's sitting right in front of our face. And it goes for Democrats and Republicans alike, not just one side or the other. They are all corrupt.
I will
all
tell
of
you,
them.
we've yet to see our gas prices go down at all. They've remained the same.
We're never going to see gas prices like that before because of a thing called inflation. Once it goes up, it stays up.
And it's not going to come back down. But I mean, I did hear that there were places that were seeing reductions.
I mean, you see your usual flux of like 5-10 cents at most.
We haven't even seen that.
They get us used to paying the price of higher prices, and they just leave it.
Well,
I've never seen prices go back down to what they were in the 80s or 90s. Have you?
Right. And we have that thing called, I think it's nationwide, I think it is, called summer gas. It's a different formulary than winter gas, apparently.
Because of where you guys are up north, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you get that down south or not.
No, it don't ever get that cold down here.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. We made it to the side of the house. Thank you, Lord. I'm not Catholic, but if I was, I'd be doing some rosaries. Okay, we stepped up. Woo! And now I'm where I'm supposed to be.
I really wish these people would point out how the left does it as much as the right does.
Well, I'm sorry, but I mean, yeah, the right is guilty. I think the left is a little bit worse, though. Sorry. My opinion. The right is just too damn stupid to say it. That's their problem. The left says it all the time. The right is...
Both are horribly convinced that they are holier than thou.
Yeah.
And they're just as fucked up as thou instead.
But the left is always saying something, right? About something. The right, they can't get their shit together. They don't know what they're doing half the time.
Both sides talk out their ass when they do talk.
Yeah.
Again, just another pointed out. All right, let's try to get through more.
When the president lies like that, he creates also an atmosphere where people say, like, the president is lying and who knows what's really true. I have no idea what any of this means. I'm just going to stay out of it. Like, I'm staying home. I'm not going to involve myself in this totally corrupt, dishonest world that is our political system. I'm not going to participate. I'm not going to engage. How can I have any influence in a world where, as my friend Peter Pomerantz had used this Hannah Arendt quote for his book title, nothing is true and everything is possible. There's anything can happen and I don't have any control on it. So you can see, the beginnings of, really an attempt not just to keep journalists out and people who are interested in transparency and accountability out, but also everybody out. Nobody's going to want to be part of this completely corrupt system where everyone is bad.
And some of this, I think, is an unintended result. And I think I'll give 2 examples from the weekend. I suspect even the politically engaged people who would listen to a podcast like this will recognize in themselves what I'm describing. So over the weekend, just passed, President Trump tweeted about restoring Alcatraz as a federal prison. Now, This can't happen. I mean, Alcatraz is an ancient prison. It's been a federal museum, I think, for half a century. It's just the cells are not to modern standards. You can't do it. And it looks like what happened was a TV station that he was watching had a movie that was set in Alcatraz, and he watched the movie and thought, Alcatraz, I'm going to make that a prison again. And as the whim formed itself in his impulsive brain, he put a message on True Social that he wants to do this.
I actually agree with them on this. There is no way in hell Alcatraz was ever going to pan out, no matter what Trump said. The place was too in disrepair.
He's a
There is
troll.
no way
Get
they
with
were
it.
ever going to
He's
get
a
it to be anything
troll.
more.
He's a troll, and everybody lost their shit over it. And quite frankly, you think it compares to the prison in El Salvador?
Actually, it's far worse.
Oh, then go ahead. I say let's use it.
No, when you look at the living conditions,
I don't care. For those that are really bad and messed up and really hurt somebody or did whatever, I say suffer a little bit. I'm down for,
there's a difference between suffering and living in conditions that are probably going to kill you, even though you didn't get a death sentence.
Well, then that's all the better. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, I
No.
said it. Yeah, I did.
No.
Uh-huh.
I don't agree with that.
Oh, well. Sorry, Crazy Bee. A rapist, child sex molester, Why not have to live in a little bit of squalor?
If the courts, which are supposed to be run by the people and all that, do
Oh, you
not
mean all
deem
them
them to need
leftist
a death
judges?
sentence, then they don't get a death sentence.
Correct. So, but that
But
doesn't mean that you're...
forcing them to live in conditions that will kill them is a death sentence.
Well, you know what? When the first person dies from living in there, based on your theory, then I'll reconsider my position.
No running water because of the pipe system, no heating or cooling because of, nothing like that available, no windows.
Yeah,
Water dripping through the rocks will definitely lead to
now you
some
just said there was
breathing
no
issues.
running water, and now you're telling me there is running water. Make up your
It's in
mind.
the middle of the goddamn ocean. There's water coming through the rocks in the windows. You can't drink salt water.
You're so easily riled, my love. Keep going. Oh, I love it.
Should you react to that or not? And I think most of us react. I'm not going to react to that. That's so obviously something that's not going to happen. That's not a real thing. It's just noise. But it's and I'm sure that's the correct response for each of us as working individuals with finite time and finite energy. You can't react to everything crazy he says, because he says more crazy things than you can have reactions to. On the other hand, it opens a process of endless devaluation of the president's words. That what the president says really doesn't matter. So in that same weekend, President Trump posted on True Social a comment about how he wanted to have tariffs on movies to create an all-in-America movie industry. So that's a little less impossible than turning Alcatraz back into a federal prison. It's also pretty impossible and something he's probably not going to do. And again, but it's something that could happen, unlike the Alcatraz example. And so should you take the energy, if you're a journalist who writes about these things, if you're a concerned citizen, to react to the movie thing, or should you let that one go? And there's this endless pushing of he says so much stuff that's nonsense that you actually begin, and your more sophisticated peers will say, you're kind of a sucker. Kind of a, it's just something the president said. He says things all the time. You can't react to that. And then when he says, I don't know whether I'm bound to, in the same weekend, I don't know whether I'm bound to obey the Constitution or not, which is something he said. Is that something we should dismiss? Is that Trump just gassing? Or is that something that is directionally significant? So he wears down people, even who are the most committed, by saying so many things that are just ridiculous. But buried in them are little poison barbs of danger.
No, I mean, and he devalues the word of the president. Nobody knows whether to take him serious or not. And you're right. And then when we come to a moment where it matters what the president says, and it matters what decision he takes, and it matters whether he believes in the Constitution or not, there will be a lot of people who have tuned out. Because there's so much noise. And the president a couple of days ago posted a photograph of himself dressed as the Pope, a kind of AI image of himself, profoundly insulting to millions of Catholics around the world who are still in mourning for the late Pope. And yet all of it contributes to this atmosphere where people just want to say, well, this is too much. I can't stand it. I'm not going to participate, and I'm going home. And that is that is the quintessential authoritarian tactic, because what you want is to rule behind a shadow of secrecy. You want to be able to steal the money or take the money and have no one know about it. You want to be enacting laws and rules of your own design in the dark, without courts, without judges, without attention. And you want the population to be dulled and bored and angry and cynical, and you want them all to stay home. And so we see all that. We've seen this movie before in other countries, I should say, and we're seeing it happen in the
Oh,
United
yeah,
States right now.
she had to
Well,
add
let me
that
wrap up
little
by
thing
taking.
in there because she almost slipped when she said, they saw it in other countries. What the heck went on with Biden and Harris? What went on with Tim Walz?
A
What's
lot.
you know what I mean? What's still going on with him, by the way? What's going on with Hochul and Pritzker? And that hearing
They
that
can't
went
be
on for,
spoken about.
yeah. What's going on with Mayor Adams? I mean, and as you pointed out, what about George Soros? What about, and these are just names that are readily available that you could pull out of thin air. What about all of the people that are,
The hidden
billion,
donors.
the hidden donors, the millionaires, billionaires? I mean, look at what we found out about the No Kings being supported by the Walmart heiress. Is that correct?
The one,
The
not
one,
all of them, just
yes,
one.
but the one. And so there's all this secrecy in the donations on both sides that we don't know about. So the names that we brandish about, Elon Musk and George Soros, blah, blah, and, Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos and this one and that one. What about all the hidden ones? They're the ones that are more concerning to me because they're the ones that really have a lot of pull, I think, as well. That hidden group
Hmm.
on both sides that we don't, obviously we could probably dig for them, but
Oh, they're available. It's just they're harder to find because they don't donate as largely, but they still donate enough to make a difference.
yes. Hmm.
And again, when corruption pays for corruption, what can you really do?
Right. I
You
mean,
just
look at,
have to sit back and suck it up and just
yeah,
hopefully die in peace one day.
right. I mean, there's the pharmaceutical companies, there's, legislation, what the hell are they called now? That just went out my mind because I have Elmo on the brain. Um, you know, the thing that go to, okay. Come on, Art, help me out here. The people that go to the legislators and say they'll give you a donation for
The
this.
lobbyists,
Thank you, the lobbyists. That's the word that I wanted. How many lobbyists are there? I heard over when the election was going on, I listened to Spotify. And I never heard anything political ever come out of Spotify. When the election happened at nighttime, the same commercial played over, and I mean over and over. Every couple minutes it was playing. There'd be two songs, the same commercial, one song, the same commercial. And it had to do with the abortion issue and how Trump was taking women's rights away of their reproductive systems, right?
hmm
You want to know who sponsored that bill?
somebody who had no business putting their 2 cents in on it.
The American Bridge Company. Now, where I live, we are known as the City of Bridges, and we've had several of the MFers collapse. Why vehicles have been on them. our bridges are in such terrible shape, and these lobbyists are having commercials made. They're marching on Capitol Hill to get their positions pushed forward. What the hell does a bridge company have to do with abortion?
A lot. I
Explain
don't
it
know.
to me.
There is no way to explain it logically. Sorry.
Okay,
Just
all right
a
then.
lot.
I mean, uh, it shouldn't be allowed. In the company that I worked, my last job, we had a lobbyist in Washington, D.C. to try to push forth the issues that the organization wanted pushed. And they marched on Capitol Hill.
Hmm.
We need to
I don't
get rid
like
of
them.
we need to get rid of
We need to get
the
rid of the
two
lobbyists. We need to get rid of the corruption. I mean, we need to
all of
start
it.
from fucking scratch.
Yeah, we
Fuck
do.
it. Start
Yeah.
from scratch.
Yep. I agree.
Because there is no saving it at this point.
I mean, I don't really know how to go about saving it. I really
You
don't.
can't.
No. There's so many people that got their hand in the cookie jar. What's that song? Who got their hand in the cookie jar? Everybody's got their hand in there except the working class people of this country. You know, when Hochul was before the committee, just what? Was that last week he was there, or a
I
couple
think it
days
was last
before?
month.
No, it was within the last 2 weeks they were there. Hochul, Walls, and Pritzker were there. They were called in. Okay, they asked Hochul if she was going to pass the bill for illegals to have health care insurance. She was like, I don't know. All the bills, I have to read them when they get to my desk. Now, mind you, everything that they asked her about, all her executive orders that she signed, bills that she signed, she couldn't recall not a one. Not one. And do you know she signed that bill into law? And now New Yorkers, working class people of New York, are now going to be paying billions of dollars for illegal health care.
Uh-huh. And I bet many of them will be kicked off of it when there's no money to help Americans.
Mm-hmm. When companies say, nope, no longer will we do it, can we do it?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't understand. I mean, I really do not understand anymore.
The thing is about this art, I don't think people are actually, I don't think real people are voting on this, or they're not paying enough attention because they're too busy working. They can't get out there to get the votes in. They can't get out there to do their research. So they just slap whatever name because they don't actually know what's going on. And so they're not actually an informed voting society. So
Well,
do they really have a say? And is the government really reflecting it? Or is this the government saying this is what our people want when it's not? And they're lying again. And more people just jump on the bandwagon for the emotional tabloid titles
right,
instead of actually having the full truth. Because if you look at it, both sides use propaganda against each other. Thanks to Obama, propaganda is being used on people in America, which it was not allowed to do before then. And it's just, I'm not okay with this. Our entire system is fucked up. Can I
yes,
go
it is.
live on top of a mountain and not have to participate in society?
I'd like to do that. I mean, it's frustrating. It is extremely frustrating. It's no matter where you turn. Do the people of New York even realize what she has done?
I
has it
bet
been
most are so busy just trying to stay afloat, they don't fucking know.
right? I mean, they have laws where, rent doesn't have to be paid for a certain period of time. I mean, geez, if I was only not fingerprinted, it might be worth burning my fingerprints, saying the cartels did it, and swimming across that channel and coming back in and getting the American dream, you know? Because holy frickin' whatever, we sure as heck are struggling. You know what I mean? It's getting harder and harder to make ends meet, to stay afloat in a small business. It's messed up.
But
Oh,
that's your fault for being born here.
yes, it is.
And your fault that your parents and great grandparents and all them came over and stole land from whoever the fuck it was
Right.
and all that shit. That really didn't happen, but it's still.
I mean, nothing's ever said about, the people that were here before us, all the fighting that went on between them and the pillage and
But
raping.
it's racist to point that out. It's
Yes.
racist to point that out, even.
Oh, I'm
Or
sorry.
so I've been told multiple times.
I'm sorry. I'm racist. I apologize.
I just wanted to point it out that
Oh,
according to the hypocrites,
yeah.
it's racist.
All right then. I'm racist, I guess.
I'm done giving a shit what people call me.
Yeah. It's
I
ridiculous.
just have my opinion and they can fuck off because I don't give two fucks about theirs.
There you go. Maybe that's an attitude I need to take. Maybe I need an attitude adjustment.
Yeah. I say just let the world burn. Who gives a shit? Nothing's going to change anyways.
I mean, it's all when do you pay attention, right? Or do you just put your head in the sand, move along, try to, maybe go on vacation once or twice a year or every
I've
other
never
year?
taken a vacation in my adult life.
Well, you need to at least once, even if
With
it's,
what money?
well, once everybody's working, I'll tell you how to take it. Uh, Even if you do it just for the weekend, 3 days or something.
That
Uh,
won't pan out with my back. I can't travel like that. I'll
yeah.
be stuck home and they'll get the vacation.
Well, that could be a vacation, let me tell
No.
you, without them. No.
They get to enjoy the fun part of the vacation and I'm stuck here staring at walls.
Yep. Well,
I
I
bust my ass on all kinds of stuff to make sure they have money to go do fun things. And I'm the one who doesn't even get to reap the benefits of it. Oh,
well,
you guys want to go see a movie? Go have fun.
well,
Oh,
you
you
ain't.
want to go do this attraction over in a couple towns over? Go have fun. Me, I can't go. My back fucking hurts.
Well, you ain't the only one, honey. I'm in the same boat. You know what I mean? What I'm saying is, for the majority of people in the country, they're working, hopefully, have a job, they have their head in the sand, they might be able to take a vacation once a year, every other year, maybe do something, but they're not paying attention to what's going on because they're trying to live, raise their kids, have kids, try to get married, try to purchase a new vehicle, a used vehicle. You know how ridiculously outpriced they are? It's craziness.
Everything is.
Yeah, it's so what do you do? Do you pay attention and get yourself aggravated and we're doing all of this for what? You know what I mean? Trying to inform people of what's going on, but at the same time, you know, what the hell, do we make any difference?
Well, again, history is just repeating itself again.
Yes, it is.
I'm at the point where it's not worth saving anyone. Let them all die miserably.
Well, I don't want to die miserable. If you see the light, go towards the light. That's what I say.
God don't want me. I'll just run towards the flames. I'll save him the headache of
we
trying to
we've
judge me.
already had that discussion. Wherever we go, up, down, or sideways, they're like, "Nah, don't want you. Don't want to hear the shit you have to say before you come in through them gates." Nope, nada. Ain't gonna happen. Not for a long time.
I'll save him the headache.
Uh huh. They'll be like, "Oh, what the hell? You gotta listen to their shit again." And I'm telling you what, if there's any damn truth to this bullshit that you get reincarnated and you get to pick your life the way you want to coming back,
If
look,
that's the case, I'm picking an infant that dies from SIDS.
no, we got to have a talk before we ever come back.
No,
I'll
I'll
tell.
just pick a kid that dies in a very early
Uh,
childhood.
well, make it painless. Don't forget, you don't want to mess.
Evidently, I deserve a lot of pain.
No,
God
you.
really hates me.
No, he doesn't. All right, hit play. Let's keep going. We digress.
Taking us in a slightly different direction, something that is a little uncomfortable for us to discuss. When you and I talk about people who do this or people who do that, it's not just a figure of speech. We're talking about people oftentimes whom we know personally, know sometimes quite well, because I think you a little less than me, but I very much come from the conservative political tradition, very much a conservative legal tradition. I was a president of the Federalist Society on a college campus a long time ago. And many of these people are people you also have come into contact with. And we watch people we know, sometimes cynically, or at least at the start it's cynical, then it becomes more fanatical. People from the people we knew from the Claremont colleges, which became a center, has somehow become a center of right-wing anti-constitutionalism. How do you cope with this in your without? And I'm not going to ask you to use names or anything like that, but in your private life, how do you cope with people whom you once held dear going off in these bad paths?
So this was a topic of my previous book, Twilight of Democracy. I had this experience actually in multiple countries because I was I don't know if you would call me conservative or Republican, but I was certainly an anti-communist, and that put me in that camp for many years. And my friends in Poland, where I lived part of the time, and in London, where I worked for many years, and in the United States, were also came from that world. And I watched that world divide in many places. And it's funny, I thought that in 2016, I'd been through that, in 2015 in Poland, 2016 in the US, that I'd been through that, the divisions had resolved themselves to people who were really fanatical and wound up being pro-Trump or fanatically pro-Brexit in some cases, that they had sort of faded out of my life. And then I discovered in this election cycle in 2024 that there were new incidents of it. And there were new friends who were put off by whether it was transgender issues or whether it was economic issues who found themselves wanting to support Trump. I frankly don't cope very well with it. I know some people are better at separating their political views and their private lives than I am. I know a lot of people have relatives who are on the other side of a divide and they have to live with them because you don't desert your elderly father for something like that. But I have found it difficult because this story comes so close to I want to say values that I hold, but also values that I thought all of us shared. If I'm the people who I know and who I consider to be friends, I think of them as people who believe in the rule of law, who support the Constitution, who think a democratic political system is better, who are bothered by lying in politics, and that they're part of a kind of it's not that we all share. We don't have to have the same views about everything, but there are these kind of basic values that we share. And I've discovered that that's not true. And I find it now difficult to deal with people who now live in this other reality. And the thing I'm most afraid of now is that once you made the decision to vote for Trump in 2024, especially in 2016, it was different because we didn't really know what kind of president he was going to be. It could have been a protest. You didn't like Hillary Clinton, whatever. There were reasons why people did it. When you chose in 2024, you chose someone who had broken the law in multiple ways and you knew it. You chose someone who sought to overthrow the results of the election of 2020 and you knew it. So you were choosing someone who you knew to be lawless, who you knew had disdain for American institutions. And I think that the people who made that decision are going to have a lot of trouble backtracking, moving back on it. And I've seen there are
What
lots
was he
of commentary now
convicted of
about Trump
again?
did this or that.
He was not convicted of a fucking thing,
Thank you.
if I remember correctly.
I'm just checking. All right.
Oh, the 32 counts of tax fraud.
Okay.
That's right, the 34 counts of tax fraud that were trumped up from misdemeanors to felonies just to get it.
Right.
If I remember correctly, but I might be wrong.
But I don't recall if he was actually convicted of that, was he?
I believe he was, yes.
Okay.
But I could also be very wrong. My memory doesn't love me much.
I don't have a memory. What are you talking about? All right, go ahead. I just wanted to check.
Mm-hmm.
Are the people who voted for him going to be sorry now? And I think it's going to be a long time before they're sorry, because they made this intellectual commitment to something that was against many of the things that they stood for. They had to justify it to themselves in many different ways. We just talked about one of them because, Biden is corrupt, whatever. And now it's going to be very hard to turn around and say that was wrong. It's going to be, they will stick to this. They will go stand by it. They will find new reasons to support Trump precisely because it was such a bad choice, and precisely because they had to overcome their own internal doubts, and precisely because they know he broke the law, and precisely because they know he has disdain for things that they say that they value. And so I worry that it's going to be very hard to make up with them at some point in the future.
And let me end with this last more hopeful thought. Maybe what happens in the lives of countries is you get these periodic moral crises as a sort of prod to alert us. I mean, American politics was much cleaner after Watergate than it had ever been before Watergate. Before the Second World War, America was a democracy for some people, but for many, not. In 19, there's a lot of research now about how much of the Nuremberg laws the Nazis imposed on German Jews in 1935 are based on the everyday practices in Southern American states in 1934. And Americans, not only did the Nazis notice it, but Americans noticed it too and became ashamed. And you wonder, if there hadn't been a World War II and if there hadn't been a Cold War, would the transition away from racial segregation in this country have been as dramatic and decisive and more or less peaceful as it was? So maybe this is one of those. I think, doesn't Lincoln say something in the second inaugural address about that this is one of those events that needs to come, and maybe it's an offense that needed to come because the people who'd grown up since the Cold War had lost sight of some of the things that we experienced during the Cold War, but why democracy was precious and worth fighting for.
The feeling of losing things and the understanding that something is slipping away can be a very dramatic. It can galvanize people to resist. That's true, and you can hear in the national conversation. I had a conversation with a niece yesterday, and I've talked to a lot of other younger people that even they feel and understand that something is wrong, and that something is being lost, and they are beginning now to reorient themselves to think about how they protect it or how they save it or how they change the country in ways that make sure it doesn't happen again. I mean, it may be that you certainly, as we've been discussing, there has been a long slide in this direction. It wasn't just as if Trump arrived in January and suddenly began to do things that had no precedent. I mean, he had a precedent in his first term. The decline of the electoral system began much longer ago with Citizens United. The role of money in politics has been increasing. You can trace it. He's part of a path, but he is now creating a crisis that takes us off that slow glide and makes this into a moment that could galvanize people. And you're right. I hope it will.
And there's never a conversation I have with you where I don't come away feeling I've learned something, and maybe also steeled myself to try a little harder and better. So thank you.
Okay, that was the end of that spew of absolute nonsense.
Thank you.
Hold on one second. I'm struggling with my hands here so I can pull up the next one. Okay. All righty. I believe this is the right one. It's another one about more on Trump's corruption, supposedly.
Okay.
This is On Point. I'm Meghna Chakrabarty.
So I think it's a great gesture from Qatar.
I don't
appreciate it
see
very much.
anything on this one, Crazy
I
B.
would
Is this
never be
Oh,
one
hold
to-
on. I forgot to hit transition.
Okay.
Now it should be. Now there should be. You're not going to see a video. This one was an audio only clip.
That's what I thought. Okay, so everybody pay attention. There's nothing to see, just to hear. Go ahead, Crazy B.
This is On Point. I'm Meghna Chakrabarty.
So I think it's a great gesture from Qatar. I appreciate it very much. I would never be one to turn down that kind of an offer. I mean, I could be a stupid person and say, no, we don't want a free, very expensive airplane.
Earlier this month, ABC News reported the Trump administration was preparing to accept a Boeing jumbo jet from the royal family of Qatar. The luxury plane, worth some $400 million, would replace Air Force One. Trump posted on social media it was, quote, a gift, free of charge. He also called it, quote, a very public and transparent transaction, end quote. ABC News reporter Rachel Scott pressed Trump on the jet during a press conference last week.
Mr. President, what do you say to people who view that luxury jet as a personal gift to you? Why not leave it
You're
behind?
ABC fake news, right?
Why not?
It's only ABC. Well, a few of you would. Let me tell you, you should be embarrassed asking that question. They're giving us a free jet. I could say, no, 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 don't give us. I want to pay you $1 billion or 400 million or whatever it is. Or I could say, thank you very much.
Well, this week, CNN reported that the Trump administration first approached Qatar about acquiring the plane, not the other way around. So the plot thickens. Meanwhile, tomorrow night, the top 220 investors in President Trump.
I am curious, where's their proof that he approached Qatar about it, not the other way around?
Right,
I want to see this proof.
right. So would I.
Trump's cryptocurrency meme coin will sit down to an exclusive dinner with the president. The meme coin launched in January, just after Trump's inauguration. 80% of it is controlled by the Trump Organization and affiliated entities. And the exclusive dinner will be at Trump's golf club in Virginia. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt was asked earlier this month why Trump is attending the dinner with the coin's top investors.
The president is abiding by all conflict of interest laws. The president has been incredibly transparent with his own personal financial obligations throughout the years. The president is a successful businessman, and I think, frankly, it's one of the many reasons that people reelected him back to his office.
But one reporter pushed back on Leavitt, saying some do see this as an opportunity to influence the president. For example, a logistics company called Freight Technologies said it would buy $20 million of Trump's meme coin in order to advocate for its position on trade between the U.S. and Mexico. Leavitt responded,
I can assure you the president acts with only the interests of the American public in mind, putting our country first and doing what's best for our country, full stop.
Ultimately, the logistics company was not invited to tomorrow's dinner because it did not buy enough Trump meme coin. Now, it's not hard to imagine that not so long ago, overt presidential quid pro quo like this would have been the stuff of endless headlines, congressional investigations, even calls for resignation. It was customary in.
No, it wasn't. It hasn't been that way since like the 1700s. But
Oh,
yet they're acting like it's a big deal.
right.
Am I like the only one who? I swear, I swear.
I know. Art has a comment that Air Force One is a very special plane. It's not just another 747 off the assembly line. It just shows Trump's ignorance, frankly. Sorry, Art, I disagree with that. Uh, the plane that they wanted to give Trump was extremely, one, luxurious, but two, updated. Quite frankly, Air Force One is on its last leg,
It's
and
as
the
old
way,
as me.
yeah, well, and the way Boeing is going with the way they build planes, I'm not sure that I'd want an airplane from them. So I don't know. In fact, aren't they in the process of making a new Air Force One?
Yes, last I heard they are in the process.
Okay, so I
But
don't.
this is supposed to get them through until
Right.
that plane is available.
Yeah,
But I
right.
still haven't seen us take delivery of it.
I
So
either.
I haven't heard any updates.
And uh, I don't know. I just, one, I think Trump is a master troll. Two, I think Trump does know what he's doing. Um, is he ignorant on some things? Probably. But aren't we all on one thing or another? There's no possible way that one person can know everything, and so hence
It
we
just looks really bad when you're the president of the United States and you're talking out your ass. It's different for me to sit here and talk out my ass because I'm a nobody from nowhere with no particular talent. But a president is a whole different ballgame.
well, so you're saying you had an issue with the whole airplane situation?
No, I'm saying if he's going to talk about it, making sure it's legal and stuff, he should know for a fact,
that
not play a
it's
guessing game.
exactly. I don't disagree with that comment. Uh, because it is in violation of our laws to accept a gift, but I don't know with it going to the DOD if that made a difference really or not. I don't know quite yet if uh, it's the hours on the airframe, not the years since production. Air Force One has very low hours. I don't know about that, or I thought I did some reading about the condition. Um, I recognize something can be old and still quite in good shape, although I wouldn't say that's me. But there were a lot of complaints about what was going on Air Force One. I'll see if I can find that
Are they
information.
complaints just because they want a new one, like your teenager who wants the newest iPhone?
I don't.
Or are these legitimate?
I want to say they were legit, but let me do a little bit of investigating on that. And by the way, never mind. I'll ask you later.
I'm
I'm not.
just truly curious if these are legitimate complaints about the plane.
Yeah, I'll look about the plane, but I had another question for you, but I'll ask you later. I don't want to show how stupid I am online.
Everybody knows how stupid I am. I make that clear all the time.
Yeah, but I don't need to add to it, so I'll talk.
I'm at the point I couldn't give two fucks if it adds to it. People are entitled to their opinions.
That's fine. All right,
Uh,
keep going. And hi, Fort.
uh,
It's good to see you.
that is one factor, but time should be taken into consideration. Mm, Honestly, it's hard to tell anything these days because the last time the government got new toilet seats, how much did those fuckers cost?
What, like $900?
Yeah.
How much was a screw? Like.
Oh, wait, but Trump's the only one who wants lavish things.
Uh huh.
My bad.
Hey, JJ.
In the
Sorry if I
past
missed
for a
you
US
earlier.
president,
Oh,
even a presidential candidate, to try to avoid the appearance of corruption, let alone outright corruption or conflict of interest. Recall that people like Mitt Romney. Romney had to put his millions into a blind trust when running for president. Jimmy Carter did something similar with his peanut farm. Trump, however, isn't doing anything blindly. He's putting the overlap of his personal business interests and presidential power in full view. In other countries, when this happens, we call it corruption. Is he normalizing corruption in the United States? I mean, Trump's
I think
behavior in this
everyone before
administration
him
is in
did
line with
that.
his first administration, but voters, particularly his voters, didn't see those conflicts of interest as an issue. They put him back into office. So there's already some normalization there. But at what point
Didn't
do we,
hold
the
on.
American people, become
Didn't didn't the Clinton Foundation get so much money or something for
Uh huh.
something something?
Oh, they always do. It's just
Yeah,
not always made public. And
right.
again, this is why here they are making it sound like Trump is the only one who's ever done this, but the Democrats would never do such a thing.
No, no, and that's the issue that I have about all this.
And then don't get me started on Bush Sr. and Jr. Don't. Don't get me started on Obama. If you really want to do this, if you're really going to call out Trump, call out the others while you're at it.
And by the way,
Not
I heard something the other day about Obama. By the way, that he really was not the first black president. Did you know that?
we covered that from the Thomas Sowell perspective.
Okay,
He's actually first mixed raced,
there
not
you go.
actual black.
Yeah, that's popping back up in the neighborhood for some reason. I don't know why.
Mm,
Maybe because he's going to try to run again. I don't know.
Or
Oops.
maybe
No.
people are
Whoops. Did I
dumbass.
say that?
Of course, he's going to run again. The next Democrat who comes in, he's going to be in an earpiece telling them
Uh
what to
huh.
do because they can't think for themselves.
Right. Yeah.
But okay, they want to talk about Trump wanting a third term.
Uh
What
huh.
do y'all think was running the Biden administration? Oh, Obama's third term.
No, it was the auto pen that was running it. What are you talking about? The auto pen did it by itself.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Just because Obama wasn't there didn't mean he didn't have a say in it.
Okay. All right, keep going.
Become so inured to it that the acceptance of corruption starts to trickle down and erode our belief in or expectation of integrity at every level of government, from president to the proverbial dog catcher. It's a question that I'm going to turn now.
Art said, "You realize George Washington ran Mount Vernon while he was president, right? That's why the president is in a special class when it comes to his assets while in office."
Look how cute it is.
That is not cute. The world's largest cricket is the size of someone's hands. I have a feeling that's fake, but okay.
And
My son.
But
if
it's
it's
cute. Do
true,
you
I
want
don't want
one?
to see it.
It is a cute cricket. I doubt
I
it's
don't
actually
care. I
that
don't
big.
want to see it.
Yeah, you see, they have really small hands. It's open.
But I had to show a picture of a camel spider. Hmm.
Hey,
Uh,
who knew that you could ride a camel spider? You know? And I didn't know there
um,
was such a thing at first as a wolf spider either. So we are just,
uh-huh.
hey, this channel is to provide
I
information.
think you absolutely knew what they were. You just wanted to torture me.
I did not, honest to God.
I beg to
May
differ.
God strike me dead if I'm lying. We try to provide information that our audience may or may not know of. I mean, truly.
Uh-huh. That absolutely distresses one who's terrified of anything with 8 legs and 8 eyes.
Hey, that's that. You show me that's one compared to every other insect in the world. You know what I mean? That I'm scared shitless of. So,
I'm sending your grandsons each an ant farm.
oh, I'll freaking kill you. Wait, you don't have to. They're already here. You know what I mean? They're in the like
And a worm farm. And a
oh
cricket
god,
farm.
no, not worms. No.
And those little sea monkeys.
Could I do them? I don't know about that. What I
Just a
want to know
shrimp.
though is so
You could
those
eat them.
so we're digressing again is why the ants are coming through the double doors in my bedroom. Why can't they go straight for the kitchen? Why do they have to come up onto the bed and then go into the kitchen? Is what I want to know.
Because they can.
Yeah, but because you can doesn't mean that you should.
Tell that to everybody in the world, everywhere.
Okay, we're making a comment. Just because you can does not mean that you should. Ugh, do we even have to say that?
But how often has that really stopped people?
Right. Uh-oh, what's Art say? D, look up. Do you see that storm cloud? Don't tempt the universe. Hey, Art, let me tell you, I have a skylight right above my bed, so there is a damn cloud. It's been raining, thundering, and lightning, and may God strike me dead if I'm lying. I would never hurt Crazy Bee unless she really pissed me off. So, there, that being said. So, yeah,
Yeah.
uh huh. Yeah, I can look straight up. Yeah, I see it. That's all it has done is rain, thunder, and lightning every single
Yeah,
day.
that's how it is down here right now, too.
Is it? It's pitch black. I mean, it's like nighttime outside.
Hmm.
What the hell was going on is what I want to know. There's
The
no,
government hates us and they're trying to drown us.
I think you might be right. And because of that, it's flooding all of the anim the ant colonies and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, let's move inside."
Oh, can you blame them? If
Yes.
you were getting flooded and there was a giant old mansion, would you not sneak in?
Well, I told you we are the oasis in the desert.
Yes.
You know,
So, given
that's
the
that's
circumstances,
why I've even taken a beach towel and covered up my lamp in the bedroom because I bought the wrong three-way bulb, and on the lowest setting it's still too bright and attracts frickin' moths and stuff. Then when they get in, then the cats go crazy and they're on everywhere but on the ceiling.
Well, you
Uh
do have two living bug catchers.
oh, here comes the thunder, Art. I could be gone. If I disappear, God came for me. Or somebody came for me. Hell. Here we go again. Unbelievable. Such terrible weather.
Uh, oh, did you know born if you are born, you're static only 3 feet away from a
Your
wolf spider?
statistic, wait, did you know if you were born, your statistic only 3 feet away from a wolf spider? You know what, Vanilla? That better not be true. And I have
Uh,
a motto in this house. As long as I don't see you, I don't care if you live here. But if I see you, I am going to try to kill you. That's just the way it goes. So,
I'm not even going to put forth the effort to kill him. I'm just going to stand there and scream until someone else in the house does it. At least if it's an eight-legged spawn of Satan.
right.
Anything else I can handle, but those
Yeah.
motherfuckers, yeah, no, I'm just going to stand there and scream till someone else comes.
Yeah, I killed a little spider yesterday. You would have been I forgot to tell you. You would have been proud of me. It was just a little sucker. Wasn't that big.
You're doing
And
better than
even
me, because
hey,
I would
and
have
I'm
stood there and screamed.
and I'm
Now,
even getting good. I'm
yeah, right
killing the
here.
black ants with just my bare feet. So, you know, if I don't have a paper towel handy,
Well,
well,
stepping on them on accident doesn't count. You know that, right?
no, it's deliberate, crazy bee. What are you talking
Uh huh.
about? It is. I'm like, if I told you, if I see you, you're gonna die. You know what I mean? So it's like I have nothing in my hand, then you're getting tramped on with my bare foot. You're the one that told me I was bigger than they are. So
But I still don't know if you're actually seeing them and it just happens to be dirt
you
or
crack me
debris
up.
from one of the animals. And you think it's an ant and you're working yourself up for nothing because it's not really an ant.
Okay, next one I'll send you a picture of the dead body. How's that?
Jeez.
Oh shit, that's
And then
funny.
I'm going to be like, what are you talking about? I don't see anything.
Oh, that's funny. Thank you for the laugh. I needed that. Oh my
Oh,
god. That's too
yeah.
funny.
That would be one of the fun ones. Like,
I
what are you
guess it
talking about? I don't see nothing. It's right there. It's right there. What are you
yeah,
talking
me and
about?
you
No, it's
together,
not.
right? First we'd see the spiders and we'd be running, right? And then we'd see bugs and you'd be like, yeah, Dee, go ahead. You can kill it. Go ahead. You said you could. Go kill it. Oh, hell.
As long as I can't see the eight-legged spawns of Satan or their home, they can catch whatever bugs they want. If
See,
I see them,
yeah.
I'm screaming.
Well, that's what I said to the spider that I had to kill yesterday. I
Mhm.
said, my man,
Oh, no,
there's
I was
no
just
reason.
reading the chat from Four Corners, who
What's
says he lets them live to collect fly to make fly traps.
no. How the
That
hell
was
do
Four
you do
Corner.
that?
Carefully.
Wait, Art says vanilla. The transparent spiders are the result of the DTs. Just have a drink, you'll be fine. LOL. And Vanilla wants to know what about transparent spiders that you can feel but not see?
That's usually called a hallucination, and you might want to be careful
Here
what you're
we go.
taking.
It's on now. Here we are
Cut
once
back on those
again.
nice little mushrooms you found out in the cow pasture.
I think we should do it on Rex Sisters. We should just do like a drinking thing, and who can find the first bug, right?
Uh,
Oh hell, that's funny.
yeah, if they're transparent and you can't see them, but you can feel them, there is something seriously wrong with what you were smoking or dropping, and you might not want to do it again. Or
Oh
if that's
hell.
while you're actually awake, you might need to be on something serious that you smoke or drop as a counter because it does help with it. And then you might
Wait,
want to talk to the therapist.
wait. They could be called ghost spiders, maybe. I mean, why
Oh,
not?
I mean,
I don't
Do
know if
you know
there's
how
such,
many ghost spiders would be in the house?
I don't know if there's such a thing or not. Here, I'm going to look that up real
You
quick.
got ghost ants running around. All the ants that you've killed in your lifetime
Oh,
are
you
now
know what?
haunting
I
you.
know that. That's why they come for me. Hold
It's
on.
revenge.
I'm looking it up real quick. We digress as usual, but we need to know on Rex Sisters what the hell's going on in the world. Is there such a thing called a ghost spider? There has to be. What do we think, chat? Yes or no?
Do spiders come back from the dead?
Yeah, they do to
Zombie
come get
spiders.
Crazy B. Oh, what?
I'm sure there's a species called a ghost spider. I'm sure
It's
there
called
is.
Annie uh, Nide? What the hell is this?
Don't know, and I'm not looking it up today.
It is. There is such a thing as a ghost spider. Wow. Wow. I'm smarter than I think. Oh, there's a little video on them. Oh, there's a Wikipedia. Go back.
Nope. It can
How
stay
about?
there.
Well, I think you should have to. I'm sending it to you. You can ignore it, but you got to produce it or put it in the comments listed below or in our show notes. It's on its way to you, dear. Don't look at it.
Yeah, so how am I supposed to copy and paste if I can't look at it?
Don't look at the spider. Just look at the article. I'm happy now. If you're happy and you know it,
Hmm.
clap your hands.
Guess what's going to randomly show up in the DM chat at 2 in the morning? That big old
I'm shutting
cricket.
all my
That big old
devices
cricket
off.
my son sent me.
I'm shutting all my devices off. Oh my gosh. So there is such a thing called a ghost spider. So I guess he would be transparent and he could
I
probably
doubt
go
it.
through walls. Who knows? But either you could put it up on the screen and not look at it for the audience to see it. I think you should. You were able to handle the wolf and the camel. Let's go for the ghost.
I didn't handle them well.
No, but you could do. Don't look. Just put it up on the screen and don't look.
Yeah, I'm the only one operating the studio. I have to look.
That slap me
Doesn't work
straight.
like that. Yeah,
All right, but
you're out to torture me, like I said.
I think I owe you for something, by the way. So this would be a. What do I owe you
And I'm
for?
pretty sure I owe you for a dozen different things, so I can make it up too.
Remember, I got the frying pan. Don't start your shit.
I have a
Uh,
s- I have a stun gun. Go ahead.
Here we go. Now we're getting the armory out. Uh,
Yeah, cast iron pan versus stun gun, like rock paper scissors.
hey, you saw that chick with the cop? You know what I mean? Scissors.
It's funny when some of the stuff they do stage is interesting, but oh my god, there are some people who just it is so annoying over the top, constantly staged videos. Oh, but that one was decent.
Uh huh. Here's vanilla. You know what bug you need to get rid of? The ghost bugs of praying mantis. The praying
I
mantis.
don't mind praying mantises.
Oh, they scare the shit out of me. And I told you about that thing that was like on my on my clothes closet door, and I was like, "What the hell is that?" Never even heard that that even existed. See, that's what happens when you grow up in the city, and they don't have them. And that was a stick bug.
Yeah, a walking stick or a
Yes,
walking leaf. They
yes.
have walking leaves, sticks, then
Oh,
praying mantis. Yeah.
never saw one of those in my life. That scared the crap out of me.
Oh,
It
I
was
love them. They're
huge.
fun.
Well, you can have them. I'm sure Four Corners puts that in a jar too. Okay, Art says Four Corners. Some of that is probably the result of the Air Force requesting changes, which then results in delays, followed by more changes. Government contracting is famous for that. We agree. Yep, yep. Uh oh.
Yep, there's a choo choo train going through.
There you go. All right, Crazy Bee, you're in charge. What do you want to do?
Oh, I'm supposed to hit play. We
Go
still got
ahead.
like 15 minutes in this.
Well, I'm curious. Are you going to put the spider in the show notes then?
I'll put the link in the show notes, but I
Oh.
ain't looking at it.
Chicken.
I'll have my son come in and copy and paste it.
Okay, it'll be in the show notes for what a ghost spider is. Okay, and Art says if I remember my Chinese mythology, the praying mantis is a sign of good luck. That is
So is a
correct.
cricket.
Yeah, yeah. I had the other day somebody lives near a field and they're not. What are those other? Oh, those bugs that made cicadas.
Oh, I hate cicadas. They're annoying. They're
Uh,
pretty, but they're annoying.
Pretty? They're freaking ugly as all hell.
I think they're
But
pretty.
well, that's fine. I think they're ugly. And they played for me what was going on in their back, like woods area. I think I'd probably go crazy.
A cacophony of noise.
That's putting it mildly. It was unbelievable. I think it'd be extremely stressful to listen to that day and night for
Try
however.
living down the road from a peacock farm. I did 20 years ago. Some idiots down at the end of the road we live on
Hmm.
had peacocks. Those fuckers are annoying. Talk about beautiful, but I wanted to shoot the bitches. You think roosters are annoying at 4 or 5 in the morning? Try a goddamn peacock.
Well, the goats are pretty bad.
They're not as annoying as a peacock, I promise you.
Okay, maybe
I've
we'll.
been around goats.
Okay.
Peacocks are annoying motherfuckers. I will send you an audio clip of what they sound like.
Well, play it tomorrow so that we can get a idea. We'll compare that to maybe a rooster and see which one's worse.
Okay.
But the goat, I'm telling you, from where they're at, I can hear them in the house here uh, with how loud they are. In
Hmm.
fact, Jake brought Quinn down, who's the female, to my door yesterday. So I was petting her, and her brother was having a fit, screaming for her. It was like he
Uh
was
huh.
it was like he was being strangled, like there was a murder scene going on.
Well, they haven't exactly been separated.
No. And no, Jake takes them for walks separate. So that's why I'm saying you hear them him screaming cuz he's a crybaby. I mean, she's a sweetheart, but he is just out of control. And so he brought him down and yeah, that was a little bit interesting. I was getting head butted, which was kind of cute, but whatever.
That means that they accept you as part of the family or part of the herd.
Oh, lovely.
When a goat headbutts you, it's because they like you.
Oh, okay. Well, he liked me.
Unless they're like really like head down charging you from across the field, then
Yeah,
that's a get the hell out of my territory. But if they just kind of stand up for a second and drop down head first into you, that's
yeah.
because they like you.
Aw, then I feel special. I was
Hmm.
accepted. He was like, "Bitch, you had my sister. Give her back." Oh my gosh. All right. Well, we've been wrecked all day today. I don't know what our problem is, but stuff happens. Ugh. It's been a rough week.
Hmm.
We only have one more day to go.
Yeah, temporarily.
Right. We're gonna try. Wow. We said this many times. I don't even want to let it leave my lips. because I know you're going to bust out laughing. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we will try next week to have our stuff together and to be more professional and to stay on point.
Sure.
Oh, I'm impressed.
Sure. Okay.
Because I know internally you're dying.
No, basically, I've learned that in the medical field, you do not argue with delusional people when they're in
Oh,
a
now I'm
delusion. You're
delusional.
supposed to let it
Okay.
go until you get better help to back you up.
Well, you better recommend a therapist for me because apparently I'm going to need one. Oh,
Just
God.
saying, that's one of the first things in that they teach you in an emergency crisis when someone's like delusional or
Uh-huh.
like hallucinating is you're not supposed to agree or disagree. You're
Uh-huh.
supposed to be neutral until you can get back up.
I see.
And I do say this jokingly.
I know you do. That's okay. I'd prefer you send me. What did we say we first needed? Was you wanted a vacation, $1 million. What
And a
else?
fifth of vodka.
And a fifth of vodka. And I was like, well, let's start with the vodka, but I want a gallon of it to start. And we'll start with that and we'll work our way up. How's that?
My liver will kill me.
Eh. Well, you said you we got to make up our mind. We're either going to live or we're going to die. So we got to decide what we're going to do here.
Isn't it
Uh,
considered taking yourself out if you're doing something you know will actually end you?
well, it depends on how much you're going to drink. I mean, are you going to do the fifth in one night or what?
Well, I mean, given my liver doesn't process alcohol properly, I'm not supposed to drink or take Tylenol. It's kind of a tough decision.
I see.
I
Well,
want to drink. It doesn't mean I can drink. And that's the shitty part.
see that goes to that. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
But then again, arsenic is a great blood thinner. If I psych myself into thinking I have a blood clot, never mind.
Go ahead, hit
I don't
play.
want to get into trouble.
Yeah, hit play. Go ahead.
Where's the fucking mouse? There it
Now
is.
to Darren Acemoglu. He's the Institute Professor of Economics at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT. In 2024, he and other researchers also won the Nobel Prize in Economics for their studies of how institutions are formed and affect prosperity. Professor Acemoglu, welcome to On Point.
Hi, Magna. Great to be here with you.
First of all, the word corruption, I will acknowledge, has been thrown around so much. In fact, the Trump administration uses the word corruption a lot when talking about its the people they don't like. I'm going to ask you about your actual definition of political corruption so that we're operating from a common basis of knowledge. What would you define it as?
I think it's commonly defined as abuse of public office for personal gain. And I think most of the time people have in mind personal financial gain, but it could be other forms of gain as well. But when in daily usage, it could also mean other sorts of abuses, perhaps ideological abuses. And I think that's part of the meaning that Trump and his supporters sometimes use the word.
So in this case, in analyzing President Trump's behavior,
What is ideological abuse?
To abuse your ideas.
No, seriously. What is
Uh,
ideological abuse?
they haven't defined it. I haven't heard the definition from the good doctor yet.
Oh, ideological abuse is a spectrum. Oh, great. Ideological violence.
Mm-hmm.
What is ideological violence? The use of violence or the threat of violence to promote or achieve a political, social, or religious goal. Whoops.
Uh-oh.
I don't do that, which may include terrorism, politically motivated violence, and some forms of communal violence.
Uh-oh.
That's ideological violence.
Kind of sounds
Um,
like the no kings thing, but I...
Intimate authoritarianism, the
Mhm.
ideology of abuse.
Okay.
Um, the socio-cognitive process of ideological obsession, ideologies of violence, use and abuse of ideology in political psychology. Oh, that's a 2020 article. And it's
Okay.
been cited by 161 different places.
Really? Wow.
Well, hawking a meme coin or a cell phone isn't abusing your office. It may be using your status for inappropriate gain. Yeah, not much different than what Biden and the rest of them do. Just not a meme coin. None of them thought to use a meme coin
Right.
or his shoes or his yeah. There again. I just oh, my dad, the vice president, wink, wink, wink.
Mm-hmm.
My brother, the president, wink, wink, wink. Like, mm. The only reason this is an issue is because Trump is a showman about it. He can't just let it
Exactly.
happen in the background.
Right.
Otherwise, the left would have nothing to complain about.
Yeah, they still would.
Oh, yeah, they would. No different than the right complaining about everything the Democrats do.
Right.
Uh,
Hit play.
my eyes are itchy.
We should focus on the financial personal gain, you'd say.
Absolutely financial personal gain, but I think Trump
I'm a billionaire, but
as a
I need
whole
more money.
is more than financial misdeeds. He is in power in part to amplify his own prestige, his own power to influence things.
Isn't that what
So I
most
think
people
there
go to
is
be
a
president for?
sense of corruption when he's using the office in order to glorify himself as well.
I see. Okay. So
Um,
with that in mind, I mean, I guess you
Clinton?
already answered the next question, which is, do you believe that Donald Trump has behaved in a corrupt manner as president?
I think a lot of corrupt behaviors in the United States are defined by norms. Donald Trump, since his first presidency, or perhaps even sooner than that, started bending and breaking norms, especially about his own and his family's business dealings, but also about the way in which he goes in situations of conflict of interest that became blatant. So institutions crucially depend on the trust that people place in them. Corruption is the tip of the spear because once you start suspecting that people in high office are using their position for corrupt ends, it tarnishes the entire set of institutions. And I think that's the situation we're in, and we're getting deep.
Clinton and
Oh
Monica
my God.
Lewinsky. Clinton and Monica.
Mm-hmm.
Bush. Oil industry. And much more. Um, Obama for prestige and
Yeah.
well-known title to his name. And oh, I'm the first black man president. He had to have that record. I mean, Kamala Harris, first black woman as president, but before that, she was Indian woman as whatever position.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Are people really this stupid? Of course, you run for president for prestige and also getting out of taxes the rest of your life. Who the fuck doesn't? I mean, no one runs to be president to be, oh, well, I don't want to be known as the president. Let me hide in the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
No. Also, Vermin, was he more profitable because he was president at the time? Well, probably. Yep. Oh, Abraham Lincoln, another one who wasn't happy with his humble beginnings. Oh, just, I wish people would pull their heads out of their asses
And
and stop thinking of it as a right and a left. Just there's a lot of fucking corrupt people out there,
yes,
you
there
know.
is. And I mean, and we've tried to demonstrate that with everybody prior, Jasmine Crockett, AOC. We still have some people on the right that we need to take care of and finish up. This whole corruption series that we've been working on, that
Is
could
right
be
and
no,
left.
yes, and it just could be. a nonstop, just like economics was.
Yeah, because
And
as some die in office, others take their place.
right,
How many
and
politicians die out of office? I don't know. When's the last time it happened? Oh, the
right.
1700s. Oh,
Uh,
come on.
no, we've had a couple.
Very
We've,
rare.
we've had a couple things go on, but it, it just it never ends, and there needs to be this whole issue of accountability. Just
Accountability? What's that? I've never heard of
yeah,
that word.
it. I don't think we're ever going to get it. I really
We're
don't.
never going to.
We're
That's
never
what sucks.
right.
None of these people are going to go to prison for anything they've
Nope,
done.
absolutely not. None of them.
Doesn't matter right or left. What's the point in screaming? No one's going to do jack shit about it.
Yep.
If you want something done about it, we've already given options on how to do this a dozen different times.
Right.
It's just really frustrating when there's absolutely nothing that anybody's going to do.
Right.
It's really frustrating.
And that's what I'm saying. So, what do you do from the frustration point? Do you attempt to try to do what you can? We've
Why?
talked about.
Again, I hate to say it this way, but what's the point? About the time we do it, two or three generations down the road, corruption sets back in. There
Mm-hmm.
is no perfect system.
Exactly.
So it's like, is it worth even stressing myself out? Because in three generations, they're going to forget what the hell we told them, and they're going to go do their own thing, their own way, because they know better than the past.
Right.
And yeah, they're just going to let it happen all over again.
I
I
would
don't
hope.
know.
I would hope that we'd be able to put into place, though, certain things like the term limits, certain things like, what you can and can't do with the stock market, your own personal, finances, if you happen to be wealthy or not. You
Yeah,
know.
well, we're trying to limit corruption, but they
Mm,
just find new ways to get around it.
mhm. And trust me, there's always ways around something. There's always a workaround. Somebody always seems to find out.
Okay, so to become a politician, you get no wages. You're not allowed to have any wages of any kind while you're in office. Your family's not allowed to have wages. You get to live destitute and homeless until you're out of office.
Mm.
Just gonna say that's
Well, we'll give you a tent. How's that?
nah. They
No,
don't give a shit if we have a place to live.
no, they don't.
All they care about is how much money they can make off of whatever whichever bill. Oh, you're going to give me this much? That's a lot more than this person, so I'll pass your bill first.
Right.
The corrupt system is really just getting on my nerves.
Make your own.
All right. How
The
much more?
Virginia Company of London.
How
Yeah,
much
well,
time's left on this video, Crazy B?
oh, a lot. Let me see. We're at 6 minutes of 24.
Okay, so what do you want to do with this? Do you just want to leave it in the show notes with everything else that we have to cover for tomorrow? Or what do you want to do?
I don't care. You decide.
All right, we'll put it in the show notes since we railroaded today's show talking
And
about
you were worried we wouldn't have enough.
yeah, we have more than enough for tomorrow and next week actually with everything that's been going on. Normally, we like to pick topics and subject material and work on that and try to do some deep dives. But where we're at right now and what's going on in the country with the riots, with immigration, and some other things, we
With the
just,
current fear mongering, it's always going to be
mhm,
something new.
there's just, right now, we feel that we have to provide information of what is currently going on so that you are advised as to what is legit, what isn't legit, where the sources are, and where to go. So we're going to try to finish up with everything that we located. I don't know if we'll get through everything tomorrow or not because there is a lot. As you know, on Tuesdays, we do follow through with what happened over the weekend and on Monday. And then hopefully Tuesday through Friday next week, things calm down a bit and we can get back into the regular programming that we have planned. So that's the goal. And Crazy B will be on Sunday and Monday with questions that need answers as usual. So I'm not sure if she's decided on her topics yet or not, but we can talk about that tomorrow. As a reminder, everybody, please, we need you to like, follow, comment, share, subscribe. That's the biggest thing that you can do for us. And Crazy B and I just need to get our finances straightened out with our bank accounts, and then you're going to hear me begging for at least $1. So uh, that we can make a little bit of money. As I mentioned before, we're $500 in the hole just getting up and running, and hopefully we can recoup a little bit of that money. That would be the ideal situation. So that's kind of, I think, where we stand. And as far as our programming and that goes, we're always going to railroad it and hijack it and go off topic. That's just us. And if you're not happy with it, well, I don't know, Crazy B, what do you have to say about that if you're not happy with the programming?
Too bad.
Too bad, so sad?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, too bad. You could go somewhere else.
That works too.
Too bad, don't let the door hit you in the ass.
That's another saying that works.
Or too bad, just sit back and shut up and enjoy the show.
You could also go with that. I'm trying to carry over the links. So
I got
if
you.
I'm not focused, it's because I'm doing everything that I need to do to finish this off.
That's fine. But we appreciate everybody staying with us. I especially appreciate you with the baby. I give great thanks to Crazy B and to Blue Rose for being there for me as I am working on trying to maintain my sanity while I get him on a schedule after finding out that he has not been on a schedule. So I think probably, well, tomorrow's Friday, so I'm sure next week is still going to be going into trying to get him settled. But hopefully I can get him to sleep. I don't know, anywhere from 1 to 3:30 or so, but we'll see how things go. But again, I appreciate everybody's support while I'm going through this situation for the next 3 years. This somewhat of a prison sentence, but I do appreciate everybody's support. It means a lot because I kind of feel somewhat hijacked. This was not in my plans whatsoever. I had actually planned on going back to work to help things out, and but God had other plans for me, and we shall see what they shall be. So
Mm-hmm.
again, everybody, it is after 5 o'clock. You have a good dinner time. Uh, enjoy your family, your kids, if you have them, your animals, whatever, your significant others. Um, and you're right, Art. It really is better than sending them to daycare. I could never do that. I mean, as frustrating as it is, and trust me, he's tested my patience this week. And Crazy B and Blue were both like, D, just breathe. And that's, we set the timer and we just let them cry. And, it's rough having to do tough love and self soothing and all of that. But it's a necessary part of his development. And we'll get there. And then, once he takes off, you know, running around the place, then that's going to be another thing. So, but thank you very much for everything. Four Corners, again, I know what we need to do. We just haven't gotten there because of what is going on right now. So, you guys are in our plans, and I'll reach out to you shortly. I have just been, by the time my day ends, I have just been like dead to the world. So we'll get there. Uh, and I guess that's all, Crazy B. Yes, I don't think I missed anything. Did I?
I don't think so.
All right, and if I did, we'll mention it tomorrow. And did you put the ghost spider in there for the the
You said to, so I did.
Oh, you rock there, Crazy B. I love you,
No, I
girl.
don't.
Yes, you do. I
No,
love
you
you,
don't.
girl. Yes, I
No, you
do.
don't.
You
Nope.
know.
There's a fucking picture on that Discord chat that I can't do jack shit about. No, you don't.
Yes, I do. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get you, I'm going to tell you something. I took a psychology class at a major university.
I'm so
And
glad it helped you get over your fear of bugs.
that was exactly what I brought up. And
Hypocrite.
wait, what that professor told me you had to do was
Stand
you
there and scream and someone else will solve your problems.
no, no,
Democrats have
no,
proven
no,
that
no,
time and
no.
time again.
Listen, this is legit because I ended up telling him he was full of shit. But here's what he said you had to do. You had to introduce that whatever the bug was, any bug, in the middle of the floor. So you would put that spider in the middle of the floor and you would stand in the corner. And obviously, you'd be flipping out your, you know, adrenal glands would take over, your fight or flight thing would go into motion, and you'd be freaking out and wanting to scream and call somebody. But every day, you were supposed to inch your way over to that spider. And I specifically brought up spiders to him at this when I met him. And every day you were supposed to get a little bit closer and a little bit closer until, are you ready for this shit? That you would let that spider walk right onto your hand. I said, you're full of shit. I'm not.
Okay, you go right ahead and do that with a black widow, a wolf spider, or a brown recluse that live in my house. All three very dangerous
Mhm.
spiders. You go right ahead and let them crawl on you.
I was like, there ain't no way. I'm like, I was like, it's never going to happen. It's just, uh,
I know the process of overcoming fear.
yeah.
I was agoraphobic. I actually would not leave my house for a long time.
Hmm.
I had to overcome it.
Yeah.
However, these are very dangerous spiders. I have multiple scars where my skin emulsified and
Jesus.
liquefied down to the fat layer. No, I'm not getting near the fuckers.
Well, hopefully that diatomaceous earth and them, the chemical company, will get rid of them for you.
I hope so too. I
Hmm.
can understand a daddy long leg up in the corner. I don't give a fuck. I
Hmm.
don't have daddy long legs up in the corner. No, these are fuckers that can emulsify your skin. Yeah,
Well, he didn't talk
no.
dangerous stuff, but I'm telling you, I told him he was crazy.
I can walk by a daddy long leg and not scream. I'm not going to go and pet it, but I will walk away because I know it can't bite me and harm me.
Right.
These fuckers down here are over an inch in length or more. Some are up to 2 to 3 inches in length, and they fucking emulsify your skin.
You you should have seen. I was in Florida for a conference, and my boss and I were staying at the same hotel, so we said we would meet for breakfast. So she calls me and she tells me she's ready, right? And I open my door and there were hundreds of, are they called geckos? Those little,
Anoles.
what, like the one on
They're
TV.
fake chameleons. They're called an anole. They're not actually a gecko.
Okay.
Um, they're not
Whatever
actually a gecko.
whatever they
But yeah.
are, like I'm telling you, I took my door, I slammed it shut. I called her. I said, if you want to go to breakfast, you're going to come down and get these sucker away from my door because I couldn't go past them. That's how many of them there were. I mean, I was literally,
I don't mind reptiles. I'll just pick them up and move them.
I know because you've had them. I would be, no, they're not coming in my house.
And vanilla pie, seriously, let's be 100 who needs skin. Seriously, seriously.
Yes, seriously.
Mm.
Oh, thank God I know how to deal with wound care, and I never had to go to the doctors about it. I just did my own wound care.
Oh, that's crazy, crazy, B. All
No,
right, God. Well, I think we've entertained you for the day. So I'm done.
I guess I am too. Ugh.
All right. So everybody have a good evening, and we will see you tomorrow with who knows what.
Yeah, stay sane. Put forth an effort to at least stay sober and
Okay.
don't do anything stupid. Stay
Okay.
safe, that stuff. I'm out of order today. My head hurts. Just in time, y'all. My wife and I are now on a movie lunch date at the movies and the movie Studio Grill. All right, we'll catch you later, JJ. Have
Have a
fun.
good evening. Take care.
All right,
Bye.
guys. Bye, guys.